almost didn't throw the white flag. I was going to give you one more lap.
The 9 running on the tires. He'll slide up off of turn number 4, Jerry. You've got a new race leader, Matthew Loeb. Your race leader with 4 laps to go.
All right, who told you to tell that joke?
Season 2, episode 8. Oh, it's like it's a great 8. We got a lot of more than 8 races to talk about. Do we have a script, Brad? Is this
Jim did that.
Jim did this?
Jim typed words on paper, so
What?
we don't know what it might consist of.
No, he had to have somebody do this for him.
No kidding.
Oh, no. All by myself.
How long did that take
by
you?
himself.
You probably did that in the car riding with Dave somewhere, didn't you? So you'd have plenty of time.
If I was in a car with Dave, I wouldn't be here right now.
What a deal. It's May. No, it's June now.
June.
It's June.
Yeah.
June. Boy,
May
time
2nd
flies.
was, yeah,
June 7th.
June 7th.
That's crazy.
Been a lot of racing. Memorial Day.
That happened.
Summer's kicked off now. Memorial Day is always the unofficial.
It's like a race every day of the week right now, I think, isn't there?
Most every track's open now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nobody's open now, it's because they forgot the keys to the gate or something.
Or they've actually had rain. We haven't had much around here.
No.
Well, in like
Not
a
lately.
month. I mean, it rained for a month straight.
And
then
now
it
we
quit-
need
quit
it
raining
again.
for a month straight.
Well, yeah, and then it went from like spring, like late winter, early spring to 90 to 100 degrees. Like it always does. It does that anymore. It just goes like from like, oh, this is a nice 65 degree to holy
Humidity.
What was 90
sweat my
yesterday?
sack off. It's
Well,
hot.
hey, you know what they say.
What?
If you don't like the schedule, it change. Oh no! If you don't like the weather, it changes every 10 minutes.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Like
Am I the only-
67 today.
Am I the only person who gets pissed off when their yard starts getting brown?
No, I do too. I hate when my yard gets brown.
Back when I had to mow a yard,
I almost had to bring the sprinklers out.
It's weird because, like, it seems to me like every
My
time
yard doesn't get brown.
it doesn't. You got an irrigation on yours?
Yeah,
Got
I got a
one.
button.
And he's got the Hawaii office and the
Yeah.
irrigation system
And a
in
plane.
his home.
The salt water from the ocean.
Hawaii is surrounded by water.
Yeah, normally it doesn't rain in Texas, and the grass down there is dead. Every time we go down there, it's just brown.
Yeah.
And up here, it's green. But it's been kind of reversed the last month.
You haven't treated any lawns lately, have you?
Me, I
No, you
I
didn't
leave
get
that
out of
to
that business.
I leave that to the professionals.
Let's put this jug in. Oh, some water.
Although I did,
The Dr. Kevorkian of yard care.
I have done that before. You can like Google like home remedies
Yeah.
or home fertilizers for your yard.
Oh yeah, where you put like vinegar, maple syrup, and
Coca-Cola.
dog urine or something.
He
It's
probably
got-
looked at a recipe on the onion, though,
It
not
does.
realizing it was satire.
Coca-Cola. There's all kinds of weird stuff that you can put on your yard.
metal
that's supposed to be
flakes.
good for it.
Metal
Yeah.
flakes.
But
Yeah, it's supposed to put
Fire!
iron in the
Fire,
yard and
yeah.
stuff. It just stained my sidewalk when I did it.
I just stick to True Green. That's just probably the best,
Let
safest.
them do it.
Cole Fensky does mine, so
I thought he delivered papers.
he does everything. Delivers papers, trims trees.
He does. He
Good
does
Lord.
lawns.
Yeah.
He doesn't work for True Green, does he?
No, he does not. He works for a guy named Evan.
He plows snow in the winter.
He does
All the
plow snow in the
all
winter.
the lawn
He's a
guys
seasonal guy.
seem to be like they also plow snow, at least around here. So
Like I even plow snow in the winter.
Does he have a meat market?
Yes, actually, he does have it. Well, he doesn't have a meat market, but he knows a guy, and I bought a. He knows. I mean, Cole Fensky knows a lot of people, and he gets a lot of things done. Those guys from Wisconsin, they figured it out a long time ago.
it's been what 5 weeks since we had a podcast.
Something like that.
May 2nd is what I
May
had was the
2.
last podcast.
It was the day after May Day, and you forgot to bring the May baskets.
I don't think anybody's
Correct.
missed it though.
Yeah, nobody's asked me when are you doing a podcast again.
Well,
I've
that's-
enjoyed it.
I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of people that seem to like the podcast. I think we've talked about this before. I would like to apologize. Obviously, my schedule the last 5 weeks has been shit. So I don't know if shit's the right word, but I haven't done much in the last 5 weeks. So
I think everybody understands.
You don't need
Yeah.
to apologize.
You don't
for
need to.
anything.
Yeah, you don't need to
No,
apologize
no.
for that.
I've been pretty fortunate to have all the staff here, Ryan and Jim and Dave, and just everybody here has allowed me a little bit of time. So. Can't really go there yet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about racing.
I did see that you had 100 pounds of grass seed out front, though.
Yeah, I think I order 2 bags every other week.
And
For
the
some
barn
strange
dominium's
reason.
coming along good, I heard.
Oh, I mean, okay, so
Where do you
why
put
would
it?
you?
Hasn't everything been seeded out there?
If you get 2 50-pound sacks of grass seed every 2 weeks, where do you put it?
Are they 50
Probably
pounds?
in the dirt hut.
I thought they were bigger than
I
that.
thought they were bigger
only
than that.
50
Maybe they're
pounds.
hundreds.
They're only 50 pounders? I thought they were bigger.
Well, I
than
didn't
that.
want to lift them.
Does grass seed grow? Like if you throw grass seed down and like bury it and stuff, it does. If it doesn't grow within a certain time period, does the seed actually like not germinate? Then is there a time
think
period? I've always wondered this because am I wasting my time throwing grass seed down now when it's really not raining?
Fall
much?
is
I
the
don't-
best
it's
time
the best,
to do it.
but it's not that you can't do it now.
Yeah, you
Like,
can
fall
throw it
is
out
the
there.
best.
Will it grow if I throw it down now and it's
Yeah,
covered
it'll
with
grow.
dirt in the fall? Will it actually grow?
I know a grass guy.
You know,
Oh, that's a different.
You know
that's,
a grass-
that's a different kind of.
Will you put his phone number in my? Oh, you met my neighbor.
Yeah, exactly, the guy with the purple window. Let's just see here a minute. Let's just. I think it does. I mean, because you think about it, you throw it down in the fall and it starts. Some of it doesn't always come up. And they
Right.
always say like when like right before, like when the ground's not frozen and you're getting like one of those wet snows like in November or December.
Yeah, you're supposed
Guys
to throw
say
it down
just
then.
go throw as much as you can down because then it goes.
Yeah.
And the birds
See, I
can't
heard
eat it.
you're supposed to keep your grass seed in your freezer.
But it seems
That
like
helps it
it
grow.
Really,
In your freezer?
That's what I've heard.
I never heard such a thing.
I do, but the thing of it is, though, I do know that if you put down sod, you got to keep that water there. It will.
Well,
die.
yeah.
Yeah, that will.
I've
die.
sodded once. That's right. You literally need to make it like a swamp.
What about palm trees? How do they work out?
Those don't need water.
I don't.
Okay. Just
Like the one in the
electricity.
background. Do you water that one in the back on your back patio there, Jim?
That's a coconut tree.
Isn't it the same? The coconut palm? Isn't it the same thing?
No, they are different. I don't. Is there a palm tree and a coconut tree different?
No, I don't.
Because
think,
that tree that tree that's behind Jim can also.
Mounds has nuts.
coconut
Almond Joy
tree has
don't.
palms
Or
on
Almond
it,
Joy's
though.
got
Yeah.
nuts. Mounds don't.
But Almond Joy is dark chocolate, or is milk chocolate, and Mounds is dark chocolate.
And they're both terrible because they got
No, they're
coconut in them.
good.
Oh, come on.
I mean, if I was gonna eat a Mounds or an Almond Joy, I'd put like 4,000 grit sandpaper between my teeth. Ugh.
Would it keep you from talking?
Wow. Wow.
So have you found out whether or not the seed's going to grow?
I'm
Who are you texting? Who's your weed guy?
Hey Siri, call Cole Fensky.
Oh, Cole Fensky, the jack of all trades. Is he still racing anywhere?
Yeah, this
Is
is
he
one
too
of those.
busy to-
This is one of those things inquiring minds
Yeah.
want to know.
Yeah.
This was not on the agenda for today.
No.
No, I-
No, it
Sometimes
wasn't.
things just happen.
Maybe he'll answer. Maybe he won't.
he's got caller ID. He won't.
Oh no, he
kidding.
usually answers my phone calls.
Good point, Jim.
Jackasses.
I know that's what
All
I do.
of you. Glad to see something hasn't changed since we had the last one of these.
Do you have Jerry's name in your phone as Jerry, or do you put like Jackass?
It just comes up. Do not answer.
Yeah.
I don't even get calls from Jerry anymore because it seems like I'm always with him lately, and it's been a
Getting
Well, with you,
I did.
it's been a rough week or two.
with you living in Des Moines, all he's got to do is open the
Like-
window up, and he can yell at you because he's what, only 13
peanut-
miles away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
mean it's just right across
you're like
town.
peanut butter and jelly.
They go together
No.
pretty well.
We're not peanut butter and jelly.
No.
Peas and carrots.
No. Oil and water.
Like Forrest Gump said.
Yeah, no. Peas and carrots.
You and Jenny go together. You and
Johnny.
Jerry go together like
I'm just a
Peas.
simple man, Johnny.
peas and carrots.
You know, I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen
I
Forrest
never
can
Gump?
watch
seen?
Forrest Gump
How in the hell
No.
have you never seen Forrest
all
Gump?
the time. It never gets old.
Oh, it's just.
Forrest Gump is a good movie.
There
It's
was
a
one day I was
fantastic
sitting there. I
movie.
looked at Jackie. I said, "Let's watch Forrest Gump." She goes, "Are you serious?" I go, "Yeah, I got 3 hours to do nothing. Let's just watch
stuff.
Forrest Gump. It's a good movie." I don't know how he met all them people like that. I mean, he was like,
Yeah, it was
it's crazy.
quite the
how
life.
Forrest Gump-
What are the odds?
What are the odds that Forrest Gump was? gonna
There
tell
has
the
been a lot of-
president, I had 16 Dr. Peppers. I got to pee.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Well, you want to
lots of,
start talking about racing?
I was gonna say lots of races. Lots of races.
Had the All-Star Shootout, the whole hall.
Well, hey, let's talk about what's
race.
coming up. Let's talk about what's coming up.
Is it why? Is there something coming up?
I don't know.
Is it like
Nate?
is it, I don't know.
Producer Nate, we got anybody to talk about?
Is our guest? Okay. Rumor has it. Rumor has
Until we have our special guest, then let's talk about some past races.
Yeah.
All-Star Shootout over the Memorial Day weekend.
Good week down
Five
in
nights of that
Oklahoma,
stuff.
Texas.
Mitchell
It was a
Clement?
good week. Oh my God.
Where'd they go? They went
You have
to
record
Southern Oklahoma, Grayson County, Boyd, KSP, and Hot.
Heart of Texas.
Yep.
Did you have record car counts for that?
Yeah. Yes. We were
So,
up
Jim-
in every class
Jim,
over
in-
last year.
In this, in our notes, is the number the car number, or is that the
the
number
car
of
count.
count? So out of 56 cars on night one at Southern Oklahoma,
Well,
Mitchell
you know, Jerry, I'm going to point this out to you. Shelby Williams won multiple races,
yeah.
and I don't know if his car number changed every time he raced.
Well, Jerry can't read that far ahead. We're happy if he can just start the process, Jim.
Can we put the explicit badge on this one? Can I use the word? Can I use it?
Shelby Williams,
Fudge you, Jim.
best hair in IMCA. That's
does.
what I reference Shelby. Every time I see his picture, I'm like, oh.
You know, I got to spend
wish I
some
could
time
grow
with
hair
Shelby
like
and his dad at Southern Oklahoma Speedway.
His dad Gary does not have the best hair in IMCA. I'm just
No.
going to say that. He'll probably want to beat me
I
up
don't
for
think
that, but
Recognize him. What's wrong with his hair? Does he have any?
just go to his Facebook page.
Oh, is it?
Who, Gary or Shelby?
I don't know what else. Gary.
Oh, yeah. Gary, no, Gary does. I don't know that he's got much hair.
Oh,
My Shelby Williams story is I have one. You know, we were at Grayson County a few years back, and I don't know what it was. It might have been the All-Star a few years back. I can't remember. He got DQ'd in a heat race for the wheelbase being short on his race car, and they called me to I actually had walked across the track to get my jacket because it was kind of chilly, and I was coming back in, and as I was coming back in, they said, "Hey, they want you in the pit." So I walked over into the pits at Grayson County, and walked into Shelby Williams' pit. After he'd been DQ'd, I didn't even know it because I was at my car when it happened, but he had been DQ'd for wheelbase. So I went into the pits thinking, okay, he just has a question. And it was kind of like on from there, I suppose. You know, it was a very candid discussion between him and his crew, and his father, Gary, was involved. And actually Shelby was probably the voice of reason in most of it after it was all said and done. But you know, we've talked about this before. You just have those kind of like moments where you kind of get to know people a little bit, and the way that played out, the circumstances wasn't all that good for Shelby. They were all pissed off. You know, they were mad about it, and you know, and a lot of candid things were said toward me and IMCA and everything else, and the circumstances. You know, but whatever. I just you go to that, and I see him winning lots of races now.
Yeah.
He's kind of stamping himself as a stock car guy that across the country that people kind of recognize. He's showing up outside of the state of Texas and Oklahoma to race, and got a great looking race car, and he's fast everywhere he goes, you know. So
Yeah,
it's just
he had to get a new one though because he
I heard
he went on
tore one
this
up.
winning tear, and then I think it was a weekly show. Just
yeah, Friday night at Boyd.
Friday night at Boyd,
Tore it
just
up.
something happened. You know, got in a wreck, and I mean, it junked a race car.
Did he put that ugly Salone body back on it?
I hope
like
so.
that. I like that.
Oh God,
What?
that's so. I'm not.
I don't like
Is that what they're called? A Salone?
That's an Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Salon.
Yeah, it's the salon.
They are god awful ugly, in my opinion. They stand
If
out.
everybody
I mean,
did it, I don't think it would look good.
Yeah,
but
I mean, what
just
if everybody did it?
Then it wouldn't. But I think
I
it's
just
unique
don't-
to him.
I just don't like
Yeah.
the hatchback look of those things. You know,
What
the
a
funky
wagon.
tail section that
What a
they
A
got.
wagon?
What a wagon.
You know, once again, we kicked
A
off the
station
tour
wagon.
at Ardmore. Once again, John and Nikki just do a fantastic job there.
do.
I mean, it's a
Did you
joy to,
did you
to
climb
go
their
there.
new Did you climb their new scoreboard?
No, I didn't, Jerry. And
I mean,
I'm
because
not
you could
going
free.
to.
I mean, if you go up on that thing, you could actually like what are they? What free fall or you could base jump off of that thing. It's like
you
8
can
miles
see
in the air.
You can see Waco from the top of that scoreboard. Waco and Kansas City, depending
Yes.
on which way you look. It's up there, like what, 65 foot in the air,
Something like
they
that. It's
said.
pretty awesome though. They did a nice job with that.
Oh my God! It was quite the deal putting up from what I heard, but it's fantastic, just like everything else at that facility. I mean, you can't say enough good things about John and Nikki and the job they do and the pride they take in their facility.
They kind of spearheaded the whole tour, didn't they? I mean, they're the ones that we work with as far as
they-
scheduling and
They do a lot, and everybody kind of pitches in down there. All the tracks get together, and we had somebody drop the tour at the last minute, kind of left the tracks high and dry, and they got together, worked together, and made it go without somebody else stepping in and taking credit. And
hey, Jim, I think we got the weed guy calling.
The weed.
Hey, Cole Fensky, you're on the you're live on the DirtCast, so don't say the F word or nothing like that.
I'll keep it clean.
All right, so we have a question, and I know you can have the answer. Brett wants to know if he continues all summer just to throw down grass seed on bare or empty spots.
Without water, if you didn't water
If you didn't water it, will the seed hold and germinate once it gets water
in the fall.
in the fall?
As long as it doesn't get wet and not pollinate. If you keep it dry, it will.
But which is impossible because it's going to
It's
get
gonna
wet if it
rain.
rains. So it'll essentially almost, I guess, like die.
Would he advise against doing
There's a
that?
pretty good chance that it will.
So what you would say to a guy like that, like you told another guy,
Don't throw grass seed down.
don't throw
right
grass seed down, or just make sure and water it till it starts to grow, right?
I would start it in fall.
now. Okay.
Now, should he aerate before he overseeds?
I got one of those.
Jesus, yard talk.
Things considered.
Jerry from Urbandale, you're on.
No, it's Cole Fensky from Waukee or Fenchniski from Ground Round, Michigan.
Aeration is always good.
All right, well, that's good. Well, we had a debate, and now you've officially made the podcast. Not for your racing, but because you know how to grow grass.
He wouldn't be on here if it was for his
Here, I
race.
gotta get jamming.
All right, you go cut some trees.
Will do.
So, yes, you have to keep it watered. That's
You know-
why if you keep it in the bag, it stays. I guess. I don't know.
Better off not to throw it down right now.
Do it in the fall.
Because literally, I mean, it rained like, what was it, April? Rained like the whole month, and I really wasn't prepared to get everything ready. And so then when I started getting things ready, it just like as soon as I got grass seed out, the rain stopped.
Yeah.
So you're to blame.
Yeah, perhaps.
So if you wouldn't have bought the grass seed, it would still kept raining.
Now, but then, you
Hey.
know, you put dirt down and you've got dirt and these bare patches in your yard or whatever, and so then now nothing grows in it but weeds.
Hey,
And
do
weeds,
me a
weeds will
favor.
grow in
If
concrete. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Why can't
if you planting grass jinxed it by not raining, could you do me a favor right around the end of August, beginning of September,
plant
throw some
some.
grass seed down?
Yeah, can you throw down tons of it?
I got a grass seed story at Boone if you want to hear it.
Let's go, caller, since we're back on the grass.
So Lottie got the bright idea one time when we were working on the pit area over there. He was going to hydro seed.
Oh, yeah.
And hydro seed is not inexpensive. To
No,
do. It's pretty expensive. So he had this whole big, huge area hydro seeded, and literally the very next day it was like a rain, like a monsoon,
Yep.
and it
Washed
washed
all away.
all the
All the way.
hydro seed down into the road.
I remember that. I do remember
So the
that.
ditches are nice and
Mike,
plush.
do you have to pay for it when that happens?
Yeah, I don't think you can buy insurance on hydro seeding.
But I'm like, Lottie, don't you look at the weather? You know, come on, you own a racetrack.
Come on, bud.
He's like the king of grass, though. I mean,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
he gets really pissed off at Super Nationals when it rains and we tear up, or haulers tear up the fields,
Mm-hmm.
any of the grass areas at the speedway and stuff. And rightfully so, because it is incredibly challenging to fix.
A lot of work to get
Yes,
back
it is.
even.
Very expensive.
Yep.
I think every racetrack goes through this. You have times when you have rain and the track is okay, but the pits aren't, or other areas aren't.
A lot of times it's
And people get mad that you're not racing. We see this stuff on Facebook all the time. People get mad that they aren't racing because, you know, the track, you know, it's not raining anymore. Well, the pits and everything around the racetrack is just a soggy mess. And it's not necessarily getting into the facility and all that other stuff that really becomes a big issue. A lot of times is when people leave, the mess that it creates on the grounds itself. It takes lots of time and money too to turn around and fix all of that, because you can't just leave it. You can't leave 1 foot deeper ruts and grass
You know,
and
the-
everything else.
Oh, no, you can't.
The good
But
thing
anyhow.
about this podcast, when we get on issues like this, we have an expert here on the podcast that can help us, a promoter that's been through all that stuff and
See-
knows how to handle it.
Is he from the 141 International Super Speedway?
That would be it.
International Super Speedway. Danny Ratajczak, the Frog Station Flash.
Is he still in
How's it
waiting?
going, boys?
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
There he
Hey,
is.
Dan.
Look at that. I know right where he's sitting.
He's all dressed up
He
today for us.
is. Put him back on the screen. Let's look at him. Take Jim away. It's not
Look
listening.
at that.
Get out, guys.
Oh yeah, keep talking, Dan. Or you
Dan
won't.
talks.
Your face doesn't
Get
show
out,
up.
guys. Hey. Huh? Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
We got you now. So what's going on at the 141 International Super Speedway?
Oh, not too much. The weather's been nice.
Brett
Actually,
must
real
have
nice.
planted
and
some
we're
seed up there.
Yeah, grass seed, and I'm an expert at plant grass seed now. I was listening to Brett here a few minutes ago, so I'm in good shape now.
Now you know what
Yeah.
not to do.
Exactly.
About everything I do, just do the opposite.
That's what I tell everybody.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Hey,
when Brett's turning left, we turn right. No, Brett's always turning right. We turn left.
Yeah, something like that. Correct. Hey,
But anyways, we're getting ready for the 15th annual Clash at the Creek. Modifieds, 10,000 to win next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday's practice, Tuesday and Wednesday. Qualifying on Tuesday and Wednesday racing, and 10 grand to win.
And you
Hey,
got
Dan,
1,000.
who won the fourth one? Do you remember?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who won the fourth annual race?
Not me. Not me.
I just wanted to ask that just to see if you had your paper in front of you with previous winners and all that stuff.
I have a paper in front of me, but that's not on it. I'll guarantee you that.
So you've also got 1,000 to win stock cars and sport mods
Yeah,
up there
both
next
nights.
week too. So that'll be
lots of money.
a little bit for everybody.
Big car counts at 141. Things have been rolling up there for a couple years now. Quite a few years now,
Always.
actually. Yeah. And this is one of the event, I think, at least in the upper Midwest, that a lot of guys look to go to. If you're going to go to Wisconsin racing from out of state, a lot of
I don't know
guys
if you
go to that
noticed or
race.
not, but they screwed up. They must have screwed something up a couple Saturdays ago because they had their lowest car count of the year.
was it, 160?
172.
172.
Well, I'm a little disappointed
It's
in
enough
Dan.
for a
He
race.
hasn't got to 200 yet. He had a couple 197 nights.
No, they got
So-
to 200.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Didn't you, Danny?
No, we were.
No.
I think Jim's right. We're a little bit shy at 200.
Jerry was
In
never
Jerry-
good with numbers or letters.
At
or
Marshalltown, it
words.
would have been 200.
Yeah.
No, I never get that many.
Roundup.
Roundup. That's don't use Roundup on your grass.
True. True. I read a story the other day. It's been maybe like a few weeks ago where Green Bay, Wisconsin was like rated like one of the best places in the United States to
I saw
live.
that
I
too.
saw
It was
that,
on the
yeah.
I was on the Facebook.
Did anybody else read that?
Yep, I saw that.
I thought that was fascinating. It is a pretty area.
It is nice. up
There's a
there.
lot of stuff to
Yes.
do up there that, but it's also a really cool area. But
And they have the Packers. I mean, what more could you want?
besides that,
No, that's right there. I mean, you got 141 Speedway and the Packers.
141 Speedway and the
Are
Packers.
you looking through every single event?
I am. I mean, 163
You're
is
not going to be proven wrong.
No,
easily,
I'm
are
just
you?
telling you. 163 is the lowest car count they had.
Do they count the winters as part of being the best city in the United States? Because the winters in Green
That would
Bay
be
seem
rough.
like they're kind of cold.
They're not too
It's
bad,
not.
are they, Danny?
Oh man, they're very cold. So it's like 80 degrees right here. Sun is shining, beautiful now. I'll guarantee you, when it comes to be about December, I'll be headed south, and I'm going to keep going until I'll stop at every gas station, right? Find out if they know what the definition is for antifreeze is. When they tell me no, they don't know what antifreeze is. That's where I'll build my house.
Well, it's probably going to be Bob Sykes' backyard.
It might be. I'll guarantee you. Brett, you're right. It gets cold up here, man. I'm getting too old. This is my wife just brought me this, guys. I don't know. You guys all should be here, but check this out.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, 15th annual, 15
Wow.
shots.
Well, do them right now.
All right,
We got
well,
time.
it's
No,
a little bit of
Dan's been on the wagon for a while. Look at that stuff. I want to know. I want to know what she plans on making in the crock pot that's up over your shoulder.
That's called booyah after I drink my whiskey.
Uh-oh.
Only 14 more to go.
Yep, only 14 more. We're going to keep him on.
It's a good way to start a day.
I had a few already, guys.
There's Ange.
Uh-oh.
Ange, get
The
in the Ange.
production.
Come in the video. There she is. I know
Now you
exactly.
got to do a shot.
Yeah, do a shot, Ange. I know exactly where you're at. I think isn't that where we usually get drunk at on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, something to do with that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that, but Brett and Ryan, last year, Jerry was here and he had the cops come and chase him around a little bit.
Yeah, I did have the cops at the Ratajczak house.
Yeah, we heard that story.
You know, it's crazy though. The
Leave it
cops
up to
are
Jerry.
nice up there. They just kind of hang out in the driveway while you finish shooting off the fireworks.
So
Well, tell us what's new up at the 141 Speedway. I know there's something new. There always is something new every time I get up there.
yep, well, I don't know, just racing every Saturday night, and like I said, we got a couple specials this summer. We got the King of the Crick, and we got Captain, and we got obviously this next coming week we got the modified special Splash at the Creek. Yeah, I mean we just doing the best we can. We updated the Tiki Bar, Jim. You have to check that out when you get up here next time. It now is really a Tiki Bar, you know. So yeah, craziness.
You've
But
really
what
the last couple
What
of years.
costume will you be wearing?
Not the one that you got on your back screen there with the doctor, whatever the hell that is.
No
not
ducks?
that one. No.
What the duck?
No.
You could wear that
No,
pimp outfit
what?
you wore
Oh.
at Super Nationals last year.
No, that pimp outfit only comes out at the stage.
That was good though.
I know it was.
What the duck, Dan?
Oh,
What are you
Pimp
going to wear?
Danny.
I have no clue what I'm going to do this year. Just give me 10 minutes. You know, I mean, I was going to do something a little crazy for this the podcast, but my wife says, you better just behave yourself. I says, okay, I will. I can do that for once.
I got to know, is it Creek or is it Crick? I've heard it both ways.
It's a crick.
It's Creek.
Creek. He just said it both ways.
Well, they say it fun.
Greg
Crick.
he goes Crick.
It's a crick.
It's a Crick.
But two
a crick.
E's are
2 E's
E.
Creek.
CRICK. It's a crick.
Creek.
Dan?
But it's spelled C-R-E-E-K. That's
I know.
Creek. I mean, Greek has two E's.
Well, either way, if you want to,
Clash at the
whatever,
crick.
do it, whatever.
He's going to have another shot.
He's just going to have another shot. Oh.
It's gonna be a river.
Boy, our
It's
ratings.
gonna be the Clash at the River. Clash at the River.
Dan,
Whiskey
did you
River.
bring any side pork onto this podcast with you?
I didn't, but there will be side pork here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll guarantee. I got my order in already. Yeah.
Yes, there, you,
So,
Where do you get your side pork at, Dan? You got a guy?
I know a guy that knows a guy, right?
yeah. You know a guy named Otto, right?
Luxembourg. Otto's meet in Luxembourg, Wisconsin. I know a guy that knows a guy. Yep. So we'll be doing some side pork. We'll be racing. 10,000 to win on Wednesday, and yeah, I think it's going to be weather's looking good, so I think we'll be in good shape.
There'll be some guys jumping in a pond. That's what I like about that.
Not
place.
me.
There's a pond
Not me.
right in the middle.
I've been asked to. I'm like, nope, I'm not jumping in that thing.
See, and there's rules. One of my countdown videos is because you can't like head dive.
Unless you give me
dive.
10 grand, then I'll jump in there.
How deep is it?
It's not real deep. That's why you can't dive. That's why you gotta like do a
But it's-
cannonball or a can
I wouldn't-
opener. Or,
I wouldn't drown in it then. I'd be
But it's
all right.
it's like the Bellagio type fountain though, because that water's like really blue. It looks inviting,
Yeah.
but
You
it's
don't
still
wanna go
I
in.
wouldn't. Yeah, you can't really tell how deep it is. It
well,
always looks
you know,
nice.
I mean, usually about 1:41 in the morning when Scott gets the bus out.
Yeah.
I've seen some people that didn't mind going into the pond, and they didn't mind that they didn't want to get their clothes wet either.
Trying to think, I don't dare.
This
stick
one
around.
gal had no problem floating. I'll tell you that.
See, I've been to the Clash at the Crick many times, a handful of times, and I've never jumped in the pond, and I've never been in the bar. I've never went up there. I've never went up there. After the races, I usually drive back home.
That's why you go before the race.
Yeah, that's why you go on practice day.
Yeah, well, that's
or qualifying day, because then you have one day to kind of recover.
The last few times I've went up there, I've just literally I drive up in the morning, I go to the races, and then I turn and I drive all the way back home.
So you haven't had the full experience.
Yeah, so I usually skip out right after the races are over. Yeah, it's probably safer that way for me.
Probably.
Because
I could see you just getting crazy and
jumping in the pond,
and running around the track naked, or I could see you doing that. I mean, I'd be like, "Who's that? Oh, there goes Brett. There, look at there."
Maybe about 20 years ago, 25 years
I'd end
ago.
up divorced if I did that now. In my younger days, that sounds like.
Jerry, what do you think if we get Brett to come up this year? We'll let him drive the bus one night at 1:41 in the morning.
Ooh, see,
drive all the drunk
you see how he
now,
destroys things on
now
racetracks.
time out,
haven't you, Dan?
because that would if we'd have to get Scott on board with that, because nobody drives. There was one time a guy did drive Scott's bus, and then Scott was pissed because he had to fix it.
Yeah, I was
Because
going to say, whoever has to repair it would be the guy.
well, yeah, because he right reared it into concrete, so we had to fix the bus. But if you get Uncle Scott to get that done, I bet we make something happen.
I think we could make something happen, right?
Yeah, I just I still do not know. Here comes another one. I still do not know how Scott Ratajczak drives that bus in reverse. I swear to God, you're going 25 mile an hour in reverse.
He watched his brother race for years, Jerry.
No, Dan usually went forward.
Oh, well.
I remember when Dan went in reverse one year at the Super Nationals.
Well, yeah, and then he flipped over.
Across the finish line in reverse.
Settle down.
And upside down, I think.
Settle down.
Upside
We're going to
down,
talk about
reverse.
grass seed here pretty soon.
I do think besides Rod McDonald, Dan Ratajczak does hold the number of flips at Super Nationals. He's been on his lid a couple times there, but you always talk about that, Dan. You just that's about the one time a year you race, just because you enjoy it so much down there.
I honestly, I say this all the time. I should be very prejudiced of 141, and we're very proud of what we have up here. But my favorite track is Boone Speedway. It just hands down. It's just fun to go there. It's fun to race. If you end up first, great. If you end up dead last, people you see once a year, and you just party like rock stars and like you're 18 years old until the sun comes up. It's just like, all right, that's the place to be, man.
Sounds like the Clash at the Creek.
That is our Daytona 500. That is our Super Bowl IMCA. If you're going to IMCA, you go to Boone.
I really think that most everybody I've met in Wisconsin is programmed exactly like Dan is. When it comes to that party like a rock star until 8 in the morning kind of stuff.
They don't sleep much up there.
Having another one.
It's 11:20 in the morning. We're gonna have one more, boys.
Look at that one. It's like a little
handle on it.
Danny, you got a handle on it? You got a handle on it?
Look at that.
Teetotaler.
Got a handle on her, Jerry.
Oh, well. So yeah, 141, 10 grand.
10 grand.
A lot of money.
What would you do if you won 10
What's
grand?
Benji going to do with all that money?
What's Benji gonna do?
Oh, Tim Ward's been pretty tough. He went up
Yeah,
there. He went up there last
He
weekend.
won the 2 grand last time. What was that like
That's
last Saturday?
Yeah.
Tim Ward looked awful good Saturday night. Unbelievable. He started like 10th or 11th, something like that, and he showed the boys that Iowa can still run very hard up in Wisconsin. Oof,
Yeah.
He looked good.
Yeah, he won the anniversary race too a couple weeks ago.
And the prelude, yeah.
Yeah.
Picked up, what was that? $5,400 on the weekend there.
Yeah.
There he is behind us, picking up a win in Arizona.
Big money on the line. Big Show Benji's tough to beat.
Big Show Benji is pretty. Big Money Benji's pretty hard to beat.
Big Money Benji.
Yeah, and he can do it in a stock car and a modified. Gosh, he could win like 12. He could win like 12 grand. 1,000 each night in the stock car.
Yeah.
10 grand in the mod.
And he gets some side pork.
The odds of somebody doing that up there though is pretty slim. It's a pretty stiff
pretty
competition.
stout. That stock cars
across both, all divisions, but across those divisions in particular.
Weekly stock cars up there are just
there's no
amazing.
way that I'll put on record. There's no way Benji's going to win.
All three of those?
All three
Two
of those.
stock cars and a modified?
Nobody will.
I think
won't
he'll win
happen.
the sport mod though too.
Well, you can't do that, Jim.
Oh,
Give it a
I know
shot.
some other people who can't do that anymore.
Yeah, correct. I was going to say a joke, but I didn't know if it was necessarily appropriate.
So you don't
Mod
think you can
guys
do it,
should
huh?
not be racing sport mods.
No,
No, they
Sport
really
mod,
should not.
They just no.
This
they
is the
shouldn't.
time of year we see more of that for the big money shows. And
Sure, it's weird.
Yeah.
Crazy how they come out.
I just want to shake the car down and make sure I built it. Just want to make sure it runs okay for the guy. Okay, we're racing hot laps.
Yeah, go out and hot lap it. Not
Take it in practice.
That's what it's for. That's
Oh.
what hot laps in practice are for.
Yeah, but it pays $1,000 to win that. Oh, yeah, weird how that works.
It doesn't pay $1,000 to win for a licensed modified driver, though.
Correct. Anyhow,
everything else going good up at 141. Hey, I do have an idea for you, Dan.
Oh, I like ideas.
Hang on, they come from a. They come.
you
Wait a
better
minute. We'll drink to that.
you better have two of them.
He needs another flight of drinks up there. He's going to run out.
Exactly.
How about like a free admission night? You ever tried that?
We've
You know
talked.
Roger Hayden?
Yeah, we've talked about this before, Jim.
You know Roger Hayden?
I know, Roger.
Yeah. Yeah. He told me all the things I should do except for one thing. Either he didn't tell me or I didn't listen. That could have been, I wasn't after I didn't listen, but I was supposed to limit the tickets. And all I seen is Jim Standard driving in and driving out. And I was on the road all day policing vehicles, right? You think Jim Standard would help me? No.
No,
He
it
just
involved
went in there.
it involved work. Why
Yeah,
would? Yeah, it
exactly.
involved work.
Well, people would go out of their way not to hit you, but if I was there, it would probably be a different story.
Yeah, people would not go out of their way to hit you, Jim.
I'm thinking I might get clipped.
That was a very good experience. But I tell you what, it was looking back, it was very fun, and yeah, it was huge. That was crazy huge. So yeah, a little bit out of control, not much, just a little bit out of control, like these shots I've been drinking. A little bit out of control.
You got to find that edge.
Yeah.
so you're
Find
going.
that
Are
edge.
you
So
going
we got
141?
we got.
I would imagine I'll be there. I like a good.
No.
I mean, I like a good party.
I might drive up for a day. I won't drive up for multiple days up there.
Why not?
I just don't.
I mean, now think about it, Danny. I got it. Brett could come up for the
I'll
week.
come up for the 10,000.
And you could go. We could go on a fishing adventure with Captain Jim. We could go to a cheese factory. I mean, these are all things that you can.
I would
do.
actually enjoy
You
both
go-
of those.
you-
To be
I
quite
could take
honest,
you up to one of the greatest football stadiums in the country.
been there a couple
Lambeau.
times.
Take you in there. You can have.
but the
lunch
Cowboys
there.
aren't going to be there so I won't go there unless the Cowboys show up.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you know this or not, but I don't know even when the Cowboys are there at Lambeau, they even show up.
Holy Snickers, the Cowboys!
Yeah,
I think you better stay in Iowa, Brett.
Yeah, well, be careful.
I know
Rogers ain't in Green Bay no more. So
my next trip up to 141.
the Cowboys might actually be better than the Packers finally.
My next trip to 141.
At least for a year or
Otto's
two.
Meat market on my things to do. I want to see how Dan makes the sausage.
Yeah, well,
They actually, to be honest, I mean, it is a nice operation that they've got there at Otto's. And you've expanded it too. I mean, when I was up there one day, I mean, there was actually, I mean, it's like any meat market, the farm. I mean, there was like, what was there, Danny? That day I was there was like 3 or 4 farmers
Ryan,
bringing in some cows
Ryan,
and.
Don't get excited, Ryan. It's a butcher shop.
Well, you aroused him at sausage, so.
Really?
oh my god!
Now Brett's drinking.
Gatorade though.
I'll drink to that.
It's
I
about
got
the
a
same
handle on
color.
this one.
It's about the same color.
Get a handle on it. What a deal.
Anyways, yeah, no, we'll get Brett up here. Brett, you need to come up, check it out. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff. And Ryan, also, if you guys, we could maybe let Brett drive the bus one turn at 141 in the morning, and then maybe Ryan could drive also. I don't trust Jerry yet. He needs to grow up a little bit more, but
Yeah.
you guys, I trust.
Needs to grow up.
I don't
Grow
trust
up a
Jerry in
little
the
more.
passenger seat of my car, but I don't think he's
No,
gonna.
the one thing Jerry doesn't have to do is grow out anymore.
Right. Oh, that's rude. Now that's across the line.
Yeah, there is a line, and
It's kind of funny though.
Did I hurt your
but
feelings,
I
Jerry?
don't know if you know this, Jim, but if we sit next to each other in profile, I think you've worked out a little more than I have.
Well, yes, I've worked out more than you. That's why
Yeah.
I look better than you do.
I think you have a little more rounder midriff.
Shoot.
So you're gonna go up
Well,
there, Brett?
I've
Maybe.
been going up the last few years on the final night, on the 10,000 to win tonight. I haven't been up there for the qualifying races for a few years now. Because
But
they
you
did
know
the two
who-
heat races, right?
Mhm,
The
two heat races, you
take
know.
the passing points,
Yeah.
and then they
And
check
it's,
all the
you know, yeah,
cars.
it's finishing. Each position pays a points, and then you get X amount for cars you pass, and then if you
Yep.
get passed,
You do the
lose
same
X amount.
format at the
Yeah.
at Marshalltown,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It's unique.
You know who else is going to be there?
Who?
Carson.
Oh, yeah, that's
Carson?
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carson was supposed to come last year, and it rained a little bit, and he got scared like a schoolgirl, and he didn't show up because we had plans for him.
Great.
So yes,
Riding
so
the
now that I
bus.
know that Carson's going to be there,
So Carson, bring your swimsuit.
So, it depends what time of the day. It's optional.
Or a change of clothes?
Yeah,
Either that.
or a change of clothes.
A towel, a swim
Yeah,
towel.
I remember one time that they were doing the bus ride, and the people got naked, and all of a sudden somebody stopped and picked up all their clothes and brought them up to the bar, and they had to make the walk. And the bus left. Scott left the infield. They had to make the walk of shame up through the grandstands to get their clothes.
True story. True story.
Only at 141.
One of my most entertaining memories at 141 is the year that because every year for the parade lap they do that big fireball, right?
Oh,
That big giant one that like really about blows your hat
oh,
off your head.
it's the dragon breath that will. It's like in things the size of the city of Vinton.
And Dan can maybe tell me, but one year, it wasn't that long ago, a few years back, it didn't work. And I just remember Dan was just like, he was pacing in the infield. He was like he was lost. Like,
I was lost, and you know who was in charge?
what happened?
Brett, who was in charge that dragon breath that day?
You or Jerry?
Me.
No. Because I remember the first Dragon's Breath I was announcing up there, and it literally knocked. I mean, I thought the windows in the tower, it was like I thought my face was going to melt. The windows were blowing out, and it literally blew stuff off the wall in the tower.
I literally was going to take a picture, but I felt bad doing it because Dan was standing by that metal tube full of whatever is in there.
Gas and
And
diesel.
he'd take his hat off and he'd scratch his head and he'd look at it like,
Oh, I can see this.
what just happened? He'd walk around in circles like he's thinking about, like he's retracing his steps, like, what did I do wrong? And I wanted to take a picture of it so bad, but I felt bad. No, I'm not going to take that picture. But it's in my mind.
What'd you do wrong, Danny? How come it didn't go
Yeah,
off?
why didn't it go off?
I still don't know. I'm going to play around with it again this year. Maybe I can figure that shit out.
Good stuff.
Hey, no, seriously though, Brett, you need to come up on Tuesday evening. Wednesday, you should stay for qualifying. We'll get you to go in the bar, and then we'll get you to drive the bus on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, if you want to go home right after the show, that'd be fine.
I can't remember the
Now
last.
we're talking. We're gonna get a plan here. We're getting a plan.
The problem is I can't remember the last time I was up at 1:41 in the morning. There's only 1:41.
Oh,
There's only one
There's only one 141 that you remember every day.
That's the PM.
in my world, and that's PM. Yeah.
Can you say Red Bull or Monster?
The problem I have with that is the older I get, the less I can drink that stuff. Because if I drink a Red Bull at like noon, I can't sleep.
Well,
At
what
all.
I'm
That's
saying.
the
You'll stay up to
purpose.
141.
Well, yeah,
At all.
Brett.
It's like, what is going on?
I mean,
used to,
that's the purpose of the energy drink.
I
is
know,
to
but when
keep
you're
you
young,
awake.
when I was in college, you drink Red Bull and vodka. You drink
never
it till
did.
2 in the morning,
I will tell you,
and then go home and go to bed. Well, it don't work that way
I
anymore.
will
for
tell
me.
you I can't remember where I was at here a couple weeks ago, and we was having some mufflers, and then the exotics came out, and I was like, it was a drink, and I was like, what is this? I go, Red Bull vodka. And that's the first time I've had a Red Bull vodka, and I just was not a fan. It was like, ugh.
My
I don't
only
think people
advice,
drink it
Dan,
for
I
the
think there's-
flavor.
if Brett does come up there, no jalapeno cheese sticks or sausages.
Oh,
Will everybody pay for that?
I drive up by myself usually and drive home by myself, so it doesn't matter anymore. I can eat what I want, punish myself.
oh well,
Good
that
times.
happens, right?
Yeah. Well, see, if you go up Tuesday, I just stop by, pick you up. We just ride together.
Oh my God.
I think I'd rather walk.
No kidding.
Well, you better better take off now then if you're going to walk.
I picked him up in Marshalltown today, and I was ready to throw him out the car by the time we got here.
Back on 30.
No, we were at the fairgrounds. We hadn't made it to 30 yet, Jim. We were a mile away.
Out of the pits.
Yeah.
Well, we better let Dan go. We've ate up a bunch of his time.
Then
We
he's
do
probably going to crack into another bottle of
Yeah,
whiskey.
he's got to pour some more shots.
have to take a nap.
Well, I'm sitting here pretty good yet. I got 3/4 of a bottle left.
Well, how many shots you got
Okay.
left? You haven't had all 15 of them, have you?
This is 15 right here, the last two. Boys.
Well, we better finish it
Double
before
them
we
up,
sign
double
off.
them up.
Double them up, double fisted, right?
Hope you're buttered. I hope you buttered up for this one.
Oh boy.
Are you buttered up,
You know
Dan?
it. Oh, you bet.
Tell the buttered up story.
Boom.
Boom. There it is. It all happened.
Thanks for inviting me, guys. We'll see you, Brett, on Wednesday morning, and I'll put your name on the steering wheel. And Ryan, I don't know if you guys are all riding together, but I wouldn't ride with Jerry. If yeah, you're right. Walk, Brett. Probably walk.
Yeah.
Makes the
We're all
ride
on
twice as
Broken
long.
glass.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks.
You bet.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank
Take care.
you, Dan.
You bet. Have a good day. See you.
The 141 International Super Speedway.
International Speedway.
Now,
Isn't that Stewart? Isn't it?
No, it's the
Stewart?
141 International.
Isn't
It's the way
Stewart?
Dan says it that makes it interesting.
Oh, okay.
Now the buttered up deal, boys. I'm going to tell you what this is. Angie Ratajczak turned me on to the buttered. Her and her friend Shelly said, "Oh, Shelly, did you get buttered up today?" I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Take a half stick of butter and you eat it before you know you're going to go out and tie a hard one on. Boom. It's got this coating and this lining in your stomach.
Half a stick of butter?
I tried it.
I wouldn't make it out the door. If
I
ate that.
tried it. It works.
You eat a half a stick
You're-
of butter
so
before you
it
get
stops. I assume it stops the absorption of alcohol. in
Yeah,
your
because it
stomach.
you
It,
get
like,
that
line it.
greasy, yeah.
I'll deal with the hangover. I'm not gonna.
This won't drink as much.
Yeah, that's.
That's not the purpose sometimes when you want to tie one on.
Now that we've
I'll let-
talked about 141, I want to kind of circle back to the All-Star
Oh, yeah.
shootout deal real quick. And I don't think Nate probably has it ready, but, maybe next week. The Southern Sport Mod finish, night number 2 at Grayson County, was probably one of the most fantastic finishes I've seen. It was incredible when Dean Abbey splits traffic coming out of 4 and pushes a car in front of him across the line and wins by, I don't even know how many hundredths of a second. Just a fantastic finish.
That's a deal that little racetrack does. I've been there once. That's a neat. It's out in the middle of nowhere, and if you don't know it's there, you can't find
Correct.
it. But man, it neat little facility, and when I was there, it put on some real great racing.
Well, and the other thing about it, Mark has continually upgraded that facility. It's beautiful. I mean, it's always been nice, but he's taken it to a whole different level. I mean,
It is a
you
nice
wouldn't
place.
recognize it now.
No, it's
Wouldn't
very
recognize
unassuming too, because you go down that road that's got the trees like overhanging it, and it's like, how does anybody get down this road with a big tall hauler?
Oh yeah,
Because
how do you get in there with a?
It's like a real
80,000
narrow
or-
path with trees, and it kind of winds. And you're like, where are we going? And you turn down this road. It looks like it's actually like a driveway to a house, which it used to be a driveway to a house. It used to be Benny Busby, who owned the place for years and years, first IMCA sanctioned track in the state of Texas, lived in the house right there. I don't know if his family still owns that house or not. But
it's like Busby Lane or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. No, you
Take
see
a
that.
left, go right past Benny's old house right there and up the hill, and there's Grayson County back in the trees. And that place has changed a lot since Mark has
I
got
think
it.
he's had it, what, 5 years, something like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's got black fencing around it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
got all those little cool things
And
that you do.
I think the first year he had it was the first time I was down there.
It's a nice
Oh, it's
place.
got a brand new press box and scorers, and it's nice.
He's done a fantastic job with that facility, to be quite honest.
Oh, Brenda
lot of familiar-
Brenda Kirby won a night down
See
there.
a lot of familiar winners in the All-Star race down there that, you know, obviously, and then you see some that aren't, you know, a little bit to a certain extent, at least.
Jason Batt won at Waco.
Yeah, there's a variety of winners. A lot of
There's a
recognized
surprise.
Yeah, Brenda Kirby at KSP
Yeah.
won.
I mean, you know,
One of the mods.
it was surprisingly that Matthew Day won as many modified races as he did on that deal.
Brandon Guerin winning in sport mods
Sunday's
in
modified
Waco.
feature at Heart of Texas
All right, KSP
was another
actually.
very, very good.
Which one?
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday's feature at Heart of Texas
For the mods?
for the mods.
Right. I think we
Um,
talked about that.
There was like 5 points separating Matthew and William Gould for the championship. And I think the slider started as the green fell going into one, and they didn't stop till they stopped.
Matthew's obviously a very successful IMCA racer. He's young, and then you got William, who's just like on the wheel all the time.
Well, there's one thing that
All the
Matthew
time.
Day cannot be successful. It's one of them little unicycle hoverboard dingers.
Well, that's his brother.
Oh no, yeah, that's right. It was his
You always get
brother.
them mixed up.
I know I do. We don't ever talk about the one.
My daughter has one of those. I don't know how they ride those things.
I don't know how they do either. All I think about is breaking the hip.
We talked about the anniversary race in Vinton a little bit. Tim Ward won the mods. He's been fast. Tim's been on a rail. He's been fast everywhere he's gone this year. And then Jarrett Franzen as well in sport mods. He's been winning.
Yeah, and he was
Eastern Iowa.
Candyman was loaded up, ready to give up, and
Oh yeah.
When he stays in his own pit area.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he had to draw it.
Jared's good for some.
Davenport.
Jared's good for some interesting conversations at times and
Yeah.
a little bit of drama. But
He
guy
makes
can-
me earn my salary.
He can
Yeah,
drive. He can drive a
pen
race
pal.
car.
He's a
He
pen
is a-
pal.
Yeah.
for Ryan.
Yeah, he's
I
my
think
pen
Pen
pal.
pals.
Yeah,
He's a great racer, though. He
No, he
proved
does.
that.
we know how to
Yeah.
spell his name
Yeah.
at IMCA really well.
Yeah, he drove.
It's just
I think-
he's on all the
kids-
form letters. You just, you know.
Well, yeah,
I'll
because
send him another
he
one.
made the comment because I wrote his name on the check that night, and he goes, "You spelled my name right." I said, "I had to ask Ryan. He knew exactly how to say it."
But no, I think he came from like fifth row for the anniversary.
Did he come out of the
race.
B?
No, he started. He rolled it.
just-
He was 16th.
So damn near out of the B.
Yeah.
Was he 16th?
Yeah, he came
He
from
came
six-
from the eighth
yeah.
row.
Yeah.
But yeah, he drove. I mean, he was passing low. He was fast. He was
Yeah.
quick.
Had the whole hog at Stewart International Raceway
Speedway.
Speedway. I
International.
just threw that international in there.
Well, it
Whole
had
hog.
always been. It is a Stewart International.
Murdy
Speedway.
Dallin, the young Murdy, won that one. Did he win it last year too? He did,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah, back to back. So he.
Yeah. Again, got to thank Todd Van Eaton and Van Eaton
Oh,
Pork
absolutely.
and for all. I mean, he was doing free
Now
food
get
over
it right.
there.
We got to thank Tracy.
Tracy too.
Van Eaton.
Okay. But
Todd
Todd
he's-
does a lot for that
Oh, he
race.
does.
Obviously, he does a lot for IMCA Stock Car Racing.
Yeah.
He helps us out at Boone Speedway.
Yeah, you know. 'cause
I
he-
talked to him at Boone a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about last year's spread that he had, and he said he just couldn't believe the people that came out. And
Yeah.
He said if we had more to feed, we'd have fed more.
Yeah.
Todd's an
Just a
easy
good
guy to
dude.
like.
Yep.
He really is.
Correct.
He's a very easy guy
Correct.
to like. Sport mod race at Park Jefferson, 5,000 win sport mod race.
That
We
one
had
come down to Colby.
Robbie
I mean,
Tom.
yeah, Colby Fett.
Oh, my God.
just.
Right coming out
Barely.
of four.
Yeah, I mean, it was what a check into the Heartbreak Hotel. He
You're
had
going to
that
talk
thing
about
hand
close
down.
second place finishes. Colby Fett has more than his share in his career. He's won
Oh,
a lot
absolutely.
of. He's got a lot of
Well,
second place.
141 that first year
Those
of
are,
the.
those are character building moments,
Yeah.
though.
But he's
when you
won
have-
his share,
When
too.
you have lots
Yeah.
of them, though,
Yes,
like,
he
you
has. He won the 5,000
begin to think you're the
last
bridesmaid
year
forever.
at Park Jefferson.
Yeah, he was set to go back to back on that deal till turn 4.
We had the
But a great
Ironman.
racetrack.
at the
All the races that night had finishes. You know, the modified deal. Once again, coming out of 4. got Jacob Hopschneid, and once again by fractions. It was a fantastic finish, but I think that a lot of that has to do with the racetrack. Wayne Becker gave him a great racetrack, and they put on great races.
And man, the things he's done with that facility
In a very short time, too.
Yes.
Oh my God.
A campground, moved the pits back on the backstretch, and is
Open the bar up.
And he's been there for what, 8 months? 7 months?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been
About 8 days, I
Yeah.
think, and he's done all that. I don't know how he does it, to be very honest.
It's a good staff.
See, Jeremy
Yeah,
Keller
he
won the
works his ass
Ironman
off.
at Dakota over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 to win. 100-lap race at Mandan.
Yep.
Jeremy Keller won that. Familiar face to winning up there. 23rd to second for Turnbull.
Turnbull, yeah.
Again,
Wow.
another fast racer.
Yeah.
I sent Keller a congratulations. I just texted him, and he sent me back a picture, and he didn't want me to show anybody, so I won't. He sent me back a picture of his right rear tire. He said, "Hey, this is my 100-lap right rear tire from over the weekend," and it looked brand new.
Yeah.
So we've had some tire issues up there, some concerns about tire issues, particularly at Mandan for some reason, and we're not sure exactly why. Sometimes it has to just do with the shape of the racetrack, how the track's prepped, all kinds of
The
things.
abrasiveness of it.
Right.
How-
There's
and,
composition. There's a lot of different
that,
things
and
that
any
play into that.
combination of things.
And it's also it's also falls back in, did you, the tire prep? Did you go too deep?
You get
when
tire
you this?
pressures.
And-
There's just a lot of issues that come into play. But I thought it was interesting. He sent me a picture of that tire, because there was time where I don't think guys would think that the G60 would lap one lap around Mandam, let alone 100, and look like that. So
I was up there a few years
Thought
ago,
that
and
was a positive
everybody was
moment.
doom and gloom.
correct. So, and then we got the tougher than dirt tour. Speaking of North Dakota, we got the tougher than dirt tour.
That's going on
That's
right
going
now.
on, yeah, right
That's
now.
going
Right
on
now.
right now. Like I said earlier,
It's for hobbies and sport
I
mods.
think we have a race every day. Might want to have every hour at this time of the year.
You were talking about 100-lap races, though. There's a 100-lap sport compact race coming up at Sweetwater Speedway.
Oh my gosh!
What?
100-lapper, yeah.
Did
How
they
much,
get
how much drama do you think
they get a
would
pit stop?
create?
I talked to Kara. I said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Oh no, it's great. She said it went over well last year. Yeah. It's a good
Wow.
show, I guess.
Wild West Shootout coming up out
Yes.
in the Pacific Northwest.
I'm sure. I think Dave's scheduled to go out that.
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, he said he was
Yeah,
going
he
out.
is.
That's one of those areas I've never been.
I want to go out there.
I've always wanted to go out there. I've just never.
Oh, it's
never been out
beautiful
there.
out
Yeah.
there. It is just beautiful.
PJ Rizzo keeps saying, "We got to get you out. You got to come out. You got to come out." And I'm like, it's kind of the wrong time of the year.
And what's kind of nice about that deal, Jerry Schramm will give you rides on the boat up and down the river. That's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jim and his adventures. It's crazy. Yeah, so we got the Wild West Shootout up there, and then obviously when you get into the first week of July or so, we'll have the Dakota Tour. There's a lot of these kind of tours that have popped up. You got the All-Star Tour, the Wild West Shootout, which is a tour. You got the Dakota Tour.
Tour.
You
We're
got
just
the
going back
from
to
the Dirt
Canada
Tour.
this year.
That's going
Yep.
to Canada.
Yep.
Back to Estevan Motor
Yep.
Speedway.
Lots of
What's kinda
tours in every region
the
of
way
the
that
country.
the calendar works out this year, you've got the Wild West Tour up in Oregon, Washington. And then, I talked to Jeff Taylor the other day, and I know him and some other guys, they're going to leave there, head to the Dakota Tour, but you have a 5,000 to win special at Gallatin in Belgrade, Montana, June 30th and July 1st. Then
Yep.
the 3rd and 4th, they got a special up at Electric City. It's 2-3 hours away from
Yep.
Belgrade, and then you're right there for the Dakota Tour. So it's kind of a neat swing up there, and guys can make a lot of money.
Every region seems to have, either some sort of a tour or
Yeah.
or a pretty good
Or like a 2-day special. That's
Right.
It's been like the
Yeah.
staple of that region
yeah,
forever.
just a pretty good peppering of higher paying events that give the IMCA weekly racer the opportunity to race for some more money. We still obviously weekly racing for us is where it's at. The facilities that are running consistently, whether it be every week or in some areas at least every other week. It still is what enables all these tours and things like that to somewhat exist.
Yeah,
at
I mean, if
least
it wasn't for
at the level they do.
if it wasn't for the weekly racing tracks that are putting on the specials, and it wasn't for the weekly racer that says, "Hey, I want to go race this," it all goes back to, if there wasn't the weekly stuff, there wouldn't be these shows.
Correct, and that's just been something that's always, people always, what comes first, and in our opinion, the weekly racing is what provides a lot of the touring stuff to happen. You can just look at the All-Star Shootout, go back to the car counts, and Jim touched on them a little bit, but you go back to the car counts, and the tracks that have good weekly shows are usually reflective in the tour events, that they have good touring races or good special events. 141 is also another really good example of that.
Yeah.
They have, they're averaging 30-some modifieds a race. It's a bunch.
Over 30. It's I think I looked yesterday. 36, I think, is the number.
I mean, their weekly their weekly average car count is like 162 throughout the course of the year.
So it really sets the foundation for these special events to be even that more impressive, to be quite honest.
And there are guys around here I know every year when they talk about the specials they have up at 141, the mod special coming up next week, then they'll have one for the stock cars and the sport mods. There are drivers who focus on weekly racing, who don't travel a lot, but every year there are some of those guys that make the trek up to 141 because they've heard nothing but good things about it. So they're willing to go to events like that.
And they've moved those shows this year back at, it used to be Tuesday practice, and it was Wednesday, Thursday, but they went to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to give a guy from Iowa or Missouri or North Dakota, where you could race your Friday, Saturday, Sunday track, come race there, and then get back in time to run your weekly program.
Yep. What else we got? How long have we been talking for? Long time.
An hour, hasn't it?
So long that Nate's yawning.
We're
right at an hour?
I think Nate started yawning the moment you walked in the door, Jerry.
Thought we were going to start like 10:30, but we must have started about 10:50.
Yeah, we started late. Someone was late when I picked him up today.
You guys were a little late today, but that's okay.
We were here.
Jerry needed
We forgive you.
10:30. It's okay.
We forgive you. Anything else? What else you want to talk about? Anything?
You want to talk about that transponder?
Oh yeah,
Stock cars and
transponders.
hobby
Yeah,
stock?
because and this is a lot of deal. Transponders, depending on where you went in the country, were in different spots.
Right.
And you could be racing in Iowa, and it could be in a different spot. But this year, it's
Track to track.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's went to, and one of there's two divisions we're seeing a little bit of problem with is the hobbies and the stock cars, because what a lot of people don't realize is a transponder has to be as low to the racetrack as you can, but it has to also have open sight. Like you can you can't put it on the firewall and have it shoot through the frame rail because it's never going to read.
Correct. And you get into Westhold versus MyLaps, and I think those are positioned differently a little bit at times, I think. I don't know if, you got to have it right. Some racers will put them on there upside down accidentally. And
the green light flash on a Westhold, if the green light's flashing down, the antenna's pointing up.
Right. So they got to make sure that they have it, correct vertical versus horizontal, and then upside down versus right side up. There's a little issues that racers at times get confused, especially if you're not used to using transponders.
And some of them, they don't hit that switch inside their car. And
right. Some are hardwired, and so, I mean, there's all kinds of issues, but, obviously last couple years, probably one of the biggest requests that we got from tracks and even racers was, can you get a consistent place for the transponder location? Yeah. So we added it into the rules this year just as an attempt, and even something as simple, in my opinion, as a transponder location, to me, it's like, in some areas, like, that's like, why'd you guys do that? Why are you telling us where to put these?
So now I got to move this off the rear.
Well, we're
axle
trying.
up here.
We're trying.
You guys make money off of where I put my transponder.
We're trying to get the conconsistency, so that in the end, the racer benefits from that, and the racetracks benefit.
Yeah,
from that.
It's no different than you can take.
But once a horse leaves the barn in that, and it had for many years, and you got transponders being put on the noses of race cars, up by the steering boxes. You've got them on the mid plates, and then in some instances, we have them in the trunk. They were kind of all over the place, so we tried to just kind of unify that, and we made some calls, and some people don't like the location that we put them in, but, at the same time, it's just a recommendation. But at the end of the day, if you got the transponder in the wrong place, whatever the racetrack rule is versus ours or whatever, if it's in the wrong place, it's in the wrong place. You need to put it, to me, I think getting that consistent is at the end of the day is going to help special events, touring events,
Yeah,
where guys go to
it's
from
no,
Iowa with a hardwired transponder to Wisconsin, and the guy's got to put it in a different spot.
Yeah,
That
because now
might
he's
be
got to
kind
clip
of
the
challenging.
wire, run a new wire, put it.
We ran into
Right.
a lot of that down in Texas.
Oh, yeah, Texas
with the
was-
stock car tour, because they
Yeah.
go, you can, as long as you're behind the steering box.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the cars came, especially the stock cars, or is back on the rear axle.
Yeah,
I mean,
in Boone,
that's-
we'd put them in at Super Nationals
Yeah.
for years. We put them in the trunk and
Yeah.
hobby stocks and stock cars.
Yeah, 12 inches behind the factory seam.
Yeah.
But it's like anything. If you're consistent and it's uniform, you can come from California to Iowa and your transponder's in the same place. Just like your car is legal in California, it's legal.
And it's really not, at the grand scheme of things, it's really not hard to do it. It's not hard to move a transponder.
You know what the hardest thing
get
is
it
with
in the
transponders?
location. 18 inches off the ground, I think, is the general rule of thumb.
Yeah.
They don't want any higher than 18
because
inches.
we bury them about with the loop is about a foot. Is a
foot
foot.
and a half.
Yeah, foot and a half's the max. But
Yeah.
What's the
So-
worst thing about a transponder, Jerry?
when you rent them and they forget to bring them back,
It is kind of a pain.
it is.
We've got, we loan our transponders out here at IMCA all the time to racetracks for special events and stuff like that. And the case will come back and I'll open it up and I'm like, oh, there's a driver's license in this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, Ryan, will you reach out to that guy and tell him, hey, we need our transponder back? And then, they rent them to people that don't even race IMCA divisions. There's all kinds of things that start becoming entertaining for us here, I guess, to try to get our transponders back, because the damn things aren't cheap. They aren't cheap for the racers.
Nope.
And they aren't
they're not cheap when we've got to buy
They
them
aren't
either.
any cheaper for the IMCA or any association or the racetrack to use either.
I had somebody ask, hey, I need to buy
and
a
when you lose
transponder.
'em-
Can you get me a deal? Well, yeah, the deals, they're $250 for you, or they're $250 for me.
Yeah.
Can we put a sticker on those transponders?
I did put a sticker on them so I knew which ones were mine
Yeah.
or which ones were IMCA's. Yeah, I put it on there. Wheel sticker.
Hey, we know they'll stick.
I just like to stick them to things.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's Brett putting stickers on things again. Gonna put
again,
stickers on his
IMCA.
grass seed that
Oh,
he
well.
throws down every other
So
week.
transponders, yeah, make sure you're, as a racer, make sure you're following that as best you can. Make sure it's got a good line of sight, not too high off the ground. Make sure it's not upside down, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. So if
Good
your
re-
racetrack
it's a good-
has
excellent reminder,
if
Ryan.
your racetrack has transponders, make sure and have it on your car. And if your racetrack requires you to run receivers,
Have them in your ears. Don't have that on your
like
car.
even during hot laps,
They are different items.
Yeah, they're different items, but they're the same purpose.
Speaking of which, when you get into receivers, Dave and I have talked a little bit about this, but it's something that's now starting to kind of present itself as a potential issue, and that is multi-channel receivers.
Yes.
The receiver is a one-way communication device from the officials to the racer, and I've seen now where one of the manufacturers is offering a 2-channel one.
But I think you can't. I don't think those are. You have to switch it. It's not like
You
you
don't
can
think
listen.
anybody would ever do that?
I'm not saying they wouldn't, and I'm not saying you wouldn't put somebody with the, be able to talk to you on a radio. I can't say that I've probably not.
You
seen
have
about,
5
like-
radios on your belt every race night. Don't tell me a racer wouldn't switch from one channel to another.
That's about like us selling foam fingers out of this out of the
like neon foam fingers.
foam fingers. I had this idea one year to sell foam fingers out of the souvenir trailers at the Super Nationals. Well, guess what happened right away?
Right? Yeah, they're using
The very first
Signals.
qualifying race, we've got crew people buying foam fingers up on the catwalk and pointing them up and pointing them down, and they're like, "Well, you sold them to us." That one I think is funny because I just saw a post on Eldora apparently for their
Oh yeah, late model
there.
sticks. Are,
No
the,
sticks.
The stick man's coming into a
which
big
I think
thing
is
right now.
fan freaking tastic.
Take the sticks away.
Get rid of the
Take the
stupid
sticks.
sticks. We don't allow them, so I like to say this.
We did it in Vegas one time, didn't we?
Yeah, I wanted to beat Justin Bolt with those light sticks he had. I'm like, what are we doing? We're landing an aircraft on our front stretch here? He's like,
No, I mean because
I just think sticks are a bad idea.
You're starting to see it
So are foam
in
fingers.
the late model world. The stick guy's controlling a race.
Yes.
I mean, I mean,
Yes.
so if you're
Come fly away.
if
wasn't
you're gonna
bad.
run sticks, why don't you just allow radios?
Right.
you know,
Why not?
Correct.
Exactly. You're just
The good-
because
the good
I
thing
But we
about
see it.
sticks-
The one race I've been to in the last month was not the All-Star race, the anniversary race out here in Vinton.
Yeah.
And so, Tim Ward started up front in that, and Tom Berry started like 12th or something, pretty deep. And Tim kind of got out in front by himself, and then we had a one or two cautions and bunched him back up. And when that stuff happens, when they kind of, it was a long race too. It was a 44 lapper. So when those races start playing out, I start looking in the stands myself. I'll start looking up in the catwalks, and I'll start looking up on they've got some catwalks, I guess, in Vinton.
Yeah, I got them containers.
To see if anybody's got sticks, see if anybody's got foam fingers, see if anybody's got anything telling Tim Ward where to go when, to a certain extent, he's getting kind of run down. He was getting run down, or he's getting chased down, however you want to say that. But, you see guys with, barbecue gloves on. I see, which, again, we don't have any rules that says you can't wear a pair of orange gloves.
Yeah.
I see literally barbecue mitts, bright orange
one thing-
barbecue
the
mitts.
one thing
Traeger makes a really cool bright orange barbecue mitt.
Or you can go to Menards and go to the bin, and you can get the neon green ones
yeah.
that'll go up your arm or something.
But the
Which we
one,
don't
the
have
one
real
good
for,
thing about
but
sticks
just
is
no
come
legs.
sail away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sticks was one of the most unappreciated bands.
Very good. Yeah, they were very good.
Got a great voice.
They're actually playing in Des Moines.
Are they still
Coming up.
alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
my
still
gosh.
touring.
Seriously?
Yeah,
When
they
coming to
are.
Des Moines? Are you going?
Um,
Oh, that's another concert you're not going to invite me to, even though
Nah,
right
I'm-
4
I'm-
blocks
I'm-
from Wells
I'm-
Fargo
I'm
Arena.
gonna probably need you to fill in that night at Boone.
Really? You're going to go to the concert and ask me to work for you?
Speaking to concerts, I went to Brooks and Dunn with my
You were
wife
in-
last
over
week.
in Nebraska.
Is
that country?
Who?
Country duo?
My wife had a request since I've met her. She just wants to go to a Brooks and Dunn concert once. She's never been to one, and she likes obviously country music, and so do I. But they were in Omaha. They opened up
Yeah,
their tour,
they were,
Ride Again
yeah.
tour, whatever the heck it's called, and so she bought tickets for her, and we went to that. But that was a good time. And
I thought you just wanted to go to Block 16.
yeah, that's a good place
That
too.
is-
That's a
sounds
good
like
place to
that's-
eat.
Speaking of Neon Moon and by
Yeah,
Brooks and Dunn
right.
Exactly.
is the best country song ever, I think.
You like that? Neon?
I think that's one of
I like. Yeah, that's all
it,
right.
You
it
one and
is
only?
probably it is one of the best. If you know how to 2-step or 3-step, it is by far probably one of the best 3-step songs,
Do you know how
country
to?
music songs ever. Yeah, kind of.
You do?
I'm married
I
a
never knew
Texan,
that.
so she taught me. Although I'm supposed to go backwards or something like that, and I don't. She goes backwards. We do it reverse. I'm not very good at it, but
So she's leading.
I try.
She's leading.
Yeah,
I struggle enough with the electric slide, so I'm not going to do anything.
because I want to do like Rump Shaker and stuff like that. It really doesn't go well with Neon Moon.
No, it doesn't.
But anyhow, so what else? Anything else, guys? We're running out of time. Talked a
I
lot.
think that's probably
You
it. Good.
need to say happy birthday to your niece Emma.
Oh yes, I
forgot her
forgot
birthday
Emma's birthday,
yesterday.
so we called Emma and had a very good conversation with her on the way. So my niece Emma, who sometimes
How old is she today?
she's 23.
She moved to
She
Arizona.
moved to Pahrump, Nevada.
Oh, Nevada, yeah.
Oh my
for
gosh!
a boy
For a
that
racer.
drives a race car.
Isn't that like by Area 51?
Pahrump? No, it's over the hump from Nevada.
Over
Or
there.
There's
from
not a lot in
Vegas.
Pahrump. Used to be a racetrack there.
There used
we
to,
used to
yeah.
sanction races there.
Aren't they
Yeah.
building another one there?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to ask Jason Pike.
Well,
Yeah.
says-
Pike seems to know what's going on in Pahrump. if you
Well,
don't
I
know
guess
what's
I
going on
could
in Pike.
because
That's who's-
that's who Emma's living out there with
with
is with the
Jake.
Pikes.
Oh, there you
Jake.
go.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know this. Another racing relationship.
I was so I had,
Aw.
so we asked her what she got for her birthday.
and she was, yeah.
She said, "No, that doesn't happen." And I said, "He didn't get you flowers."
Nice.
Was this a Super Nationals deal?
I
Yeah,
don't
where did they
really
meet?
know how those two met or something.
Look at all the couples that
I just
meet
I
was
because
just
of
gonna say.
racing.
she said I'm moving
I
to
met my
Nevada.
wife 'cause
and
of
I
racing.
said, "Oh,
You met your girlfriend because of racing.
yeah." I met my ex-wife because of it too, but
Crazy.
I've been single for 10 years, probably because of racing.
Possibly.
Possibly.
You're not the
Well,
only
hey,
one.
No,
Probably.
Ryan,
no.
Ryan,
Yeah.
there's other reasons.
Yeah.
Don't blame
That's so
racing.
mean.
wow, he is harsh. I mean,
Yeah,
it It is
The whole-
June.
It is also
No
Virginia
holds barred.
Lindsay's birthday. I want to say.
It
Yes, and we're having a birthday
She
party.
hit a milestone today.
60.
Oh,
And she doesn't look a day
What am
over
I supposed to
40.
for? You're not supposed to say.
tell
She's
a
proud of
lady's-
her
I know
age.
she is.
She
She's
looks
very,
incredible.
I wouldn't say it if I felt like she would be upset we said that. She's 60. And all of, I mean, Jim, how old are you, Jim? You 60? You're 60, aren't you?
97.
I can't remember 60.
63?
I'm 51, you know, and
I'll
a lot
be
of the other
too.
employees here are older than me. Jim, Bill, Virginia,
I'm the third youngest, and I'm
Dave.
almost 50.
Everybody's talking retirement. It's kind of crazy, you know? It's kind of crazy. Everybody older than me. You're younger than me.
I
But
know, but I don't have to train more
Everybody's
people.
kind of like, well, you know, I think I'm going to retire when I'm 65. You know, and I'm like, well, how
I mean,
old are you?
Carson isn't Carson the
Carson,
youngest
yeah.
employee?
Yeah, 20.
Carson.
I think Carson's 20. He's in his 20s. 28. He's like
I thought he
28.
was 26 or 7.
He's 28. But anyhow, time flies. But yeah, so happy birthday
To Virginia Lindsey.
Yep.
Happiest birthdays.
Yep, we should have had her on the podcast. I don't know why we didn't
I
think
can
of
go get
that.
her real quick.
We've talked enough.
Well, I know, but we could get Virginia. It's her birthday.
If you want to go get her,
All right, I'll be right back.
She might be too busy trying to get points in.
Lock the door. Lock the door. We can have us
If
a
only-
good podcast for once.
If only we could. Can we? Do these doors lock? I don't think they do. Do they, Nate? No. Well, it got quiet around here really quickly.
Imagine that.
Man, Jesus.
Got a new hat today.
That's
I'm
nice.
going to Elta
I like
tonight.
that.
but
Call
by
this the
time
patch hat.
airs, it will
The
probably be too
IMCA
late.
patch hat. If you want to zoom in on it, Nate, or at least show it. IMCA got a patch on it.
Those are that's brand new. Is that available?
Yeah, it's on the merch. It's on the
Oh,
shop
good Lord,
IMCA.
Here comes Jerry.
It's your birthday. Have a seat.
Welcome.
Well,
Oh,
thank
here, you
you.
put these on too, and you can listen.
Oh, goodness.
Slide up next to me.
You can
slide-
hear us.
You can slide
There's a
up below.
microphone there. We were just talking about you, so we figured we
was
might
all
as well
good.
bring you in the room.
Talk into the microphone.
Okay, it's what?
Because
Nothing
it's your
special
day.
going on.
It's your birthday. We wanted to tell you happy birthday on our podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
How
I
many
got-
years you work for IMCA?
Oof, like 25 plus. I stopped counting.
You haven't been on the podcast, have you?
No, I don't
before?
think so.
I didn't think so either.
Why with the dogs?
For those that don't
Yeah.
know Virginia Lindsay, this is Virginia Lindsay, our membership
Everybody knows
director.
Virginia
Everybody
Lindsay.
knows Virginia.
Most of the promoters and obviously lots of the racers that are calling you. You probably deal with more
Maybe.
racers and promoters at times than Jim and I do, because you're dealing with both at times. You know, lots of them.
Yeah, it gets busy.
So
But it's
25 years,
Yes, it's been a good time.
long time.
You're not talking retirement, are you? We're just talking about retirement.
No,
You're
I
not.
can't. I can't retire. I'm afraid my mind had turned to mush. I'd get Alzheimer's and I'd be done. I can't quit.
So when all the racers call in to buy licenses, lots of times they'll talk to Virginia, or when the promoters call in, talk to Virginia. Virginia sends out a lot of the unpaid membership, unpaid driver reports, and does a lot of the membership, and then obviously all the point stuff you're doing too. So Virginia is like the brains of all of that, the workhorse behind the scenes. But you also go to races, right?
Yeah, some races, not a lot.
You don't go to a lot of races necessarily on behalf of IMCA, besides maybe Super Nationals.
Yeah.
Sometimes you went to the Spring Nationals. We went over there a couple times to Beatrice.
Yeah, a lot of times it's mostly I'm sitting behind my desk and listening to them but to actually go to them, not very many.
Yeah, but you go to Independence now, right?
Yeah, I do. Yep. But
See, people don't know these things unless we tell them. You sell tickets at
I
Independence.
do.
Yes, if you go to the races in Independence, you're going to see Virginia.
Yes, I
and then I
mean,
work at
And if you're
concessions,
hungry,
too.
you're going to see Dan.
yeah. If you go to the races and you buy a grandstand ticket at Independence, more
me.
than likely it's going to be Virginia that sells it to you. See, people don't know that stuff about us.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So we talked about it a little bit last night, so I know what's happening. So you're going to Vegas for your birthday?
Yes, I'm going to meet family there. My sister and her husband. My daughter's going to be there. My great nieces. We're going to do Grand Canyon.
Going to have a party.
Going to have a party. It's going to be a good time.
So do you have any shows booked or anything like that?
No shows booked. We're hoping to catch something while we're there. Some of my great nieces are pretty young, so probably nothing big for them. But we've done the Red Hot Chili Peppers there, and I did Rod Stewart. And we've done Donnie and Marie, and that was a good show.
Yeah, I know.
I hear a lot of people have done Rod Stewart in Vegas. Oh, no, sorry.
What about Sticks?
Six. I haven't seen them.
What about
yet.
Marie Osmond?
Yeah.
Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow here is a good show.
Carrot top.
Are you a fan of Lowe?
I am. My sister is stoked about going. She wants to go.
Yeah, you had a picture. Didn't you have like a Donnie Marie story or something?
Yes. Okay, so we went to see Donnie Marie for my 30th anniversary when I was married, and we got like in the 12th row, and Marie likes bald guys. My husband was bald, so she called him up to the stage, and they were going back and forth. He sang a song with her. Oh my gosh, he was in heaven.
That's the best.
It was, and the same weekend when we saw Garth, and I got to talk to Garth. Well, I was there. He called me Miss Virginia. You know, he was taking questions, and there was two sweet young things that were there, and you know, I was standing up. I had a question for him, and he picked these two girls, and I'm like, well, I'm going to slide back in my seat. And then he's like, and you? So I stood back up. And, of course, they're like, well, I just want to hug, and I just want to hold your hand, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I already have my shoes off. I'm not going to walk down there and meet you. But I asked him about the Chris Gaines experience. He had a movie where he was a rock star, and I think he killed himself off, something like that. And I asked him to get into that and tell me how he got into it. And he started strumming his little guitar, and I thought, oh, this is not good, because he wasn't talking. And I was kind of slinking back in my seat. And he said, you know, when I did that, I just took a beating from the country community. They call me
He did?
sellout. Yes.
A lot of people don't remember that or think of that when they think of Garth Brooks now.
But he had two really good kind of bluesy songs, It Don't Matter to the Sun, and I asked him to play that, and boy, he was really good. It was a good show. He went over by like 45 minutes. That was an awesome concert.
Kind of like our podcast.
Yes.
Except Garth Brooks has fans that want to hear more from him.
And he's got his residency now in Vegas, doesn't
Does he? Oh, I don't
think so.
know.
I think he just they just announced his residency.
I thought it was Meskwaki.
Meskwaki?
Meskwaki. Jim, you know who Garth Brooks is?
He's playing the Wild Rose Casino and Resort during Super Nationals.
Oh, man.
But yeah, he's got his
Played
residency.
for the Saints, or
Yeah. He's got his residency, and he's got like a policy, too. You can't take your cell phone into his concerts.
Which is
No
perfect.
kidding.
No cell phones, which I thought was kind of interesting. I just saw it on the news. But anyhow. So you're going to have a good time in Vegas. Well, hopefully you come back Monday.
Oh, definitely will come back Monday. I've got plenty to do. It's going to be a
we
very
keep you
short
busy.
week. Yeah.
We
This
keep you busy.
is the best part of the year, though. When I first started, my first year started in January, and I couldn't wait for the racing season to get over, thinking, oh, it'll be easier. And the point fund check season and the banquet season is even tougher than the racing season. So now I really enjoy the racing season.
Sure.
So
Yeah, I do too. I think the racing season is much more fun than the off season. Even though we're still busy in the off season, it's just not.
it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's a lot more fun when cars are going in circles, and even the drama that we get into a little bit with the racers and even with promoters and stuff. It's still much more fun now than it is in December
In
and
the groove.
January.
And knowing how much you have to do, and you've got your rest, and you've got your deadlines.
we have
and-
sport compacts racing, and
100 lappers.
100 lapper at Sweetwater coming up. By the way, Garth
fun
Brooks
stuff.
is at Caesar's Palace. That's where his residency is.
Yeah, I just seen him on. He was on the news or whatever it was not that long ago.
It was
I've never
actually-
seen him in concert.
He's really good. It was just him and his guitar. He
Brooks
was
and Dunn
just
is
kinda-
fantastic, though. I'll tell you that. We enjoyed Brooks and Dunn last week.
I would like to see them. I had actually a conversation with Jim not too long ago. My granddaughter and somebody else were talking about who did the first rap song or the first rap album at the time, and Jim Standard knows because he and I talked about this. It's been
Jim
a while.
knows
Do you remember who it
rap.
is?
Sugar Hill Gang.
That's right.
Rapper's Delight.
That's right.
That's right.
You're a rap fan?
Hippity
Hippity
hop.
hop to the hip hippity hop. I think we've all heard
We
that
know
song.
Lady on
The wedding
Motown
singer
Holiday
sang
Inn.
it.
Good stuff.
Golly. Now the things that you know about us.
I think
Yeah,
I'd rather talk
exactly.
about planting grass seed than Jim Standard's knowledge of rap music.
That is my knowledge of rap music right there.
We tend to, obviously, in the office, we tend to spend more time at times with each other than we do with our families because we're here so much, you know. And after 25 years, you know, I started here after you.
Yeah.
I started in 97. You started, I think, a year or two before me.
Right. But
You
you
know,
worked here before
Yep.
when you were just a kid, didn't you?
Yeah, I started IMCA on my day of my 14th birthday, to be quite honest. When I could legally work in the state of Iowa, I started February 20th in 1986 when I was 14. And I worked through high school. I quit towards the end of high school and then came back, obviously, in 97. But yeah, I've been around this my whole life. But so is Jim, and so is Dave, and so have you to a certain extent. You know, I mean, but it's crazy. You moved all the way to Iowa from Lubbock.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know that stuff. You're from Texas. You're a Texan.
Texas girl. Went to Texas Tech University.
People think that we don't like Texas to hear, and it's to me, it's like crazy. We got Texas employees. I got a Texas wife. I got half Texas kids. I got 2 Texas dogs. I mean, it's nuts.
Sometimes she gets confused.
I'm
They
surrounded
just
by
don't like
Texas
being
employees.
told what to do.
Maybe they just don't like me. I think that's just it. I think they just don't like me.
No, that
Whatever.
can't be it. Oh, jeez.
Oh well.
Well, I got to get back to work.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy
Well,
birthday,
thank you very
Virginia.
much. This
Happy
was fun.
birthday. I'm not going to sing.
Very good. All right, you guys have a good
Thanks.
day. Bye.
Thanks. Yeah, a lot of people get to talk to Virginia when they call in. Or Kim.
You know, Jerry, I wish
Points
Virginia
issues.
was as scared of that microphone as you are, or wish you were as scared as she is.
Day to you. Marilyn Monroe.
No, that really
What,
wasn't.
Virginia is one of the nicest, genuine people you'll ever meet.
And she's
People
always
have
got a
it
smile on her face.
So incredibly kind. She could be having the worst day in the world.
And she'll brighten the
and
room up.
You would never know.
You'd never know. It's just always, it's nice to be around. It's nice to have her in our office and to be around her because
And
she's
sometimes
just
when people call the office, they do confuse her with Virginia
your
as
wife.
being that you are
Correct.
married to her.
There are 2.
correct. I do get, my wife gets that, and then Virginia and Lindsay gets that a lot. You know that but there are 2. I have Virginia, my wife, and Virginia, my
What a lucky dog. He's
coworker.
got 2 Virginia.
I say I have 2 Virginias in my life. That's what I tell people. But they're both from Texas too. What are the odds? It's just
Crazy.
crazy. Anyhow, what else? I think.
What are the odds that we've
hour
gone
and a
over
half
an
in.
hour?
We're at
About
an hour and 20
aren't
minutes
we?
in.
That's okay. I mean, this has been a good one. Talked about some racing, planting grass seeds, birthday
Birthdays.
guests.
All kinds of stuff.
Danny Ratajczak is,
Probably passed out by
Tit-
now.
he,
Yeah.
you know, Danny was, I gave him the old nickname Tits Up 10:30 because about 10:30, he's out.
Nice.
Takes
Well,
a-
I do want to say, I do want to, slip this in while I can, when I can, in the ways that I can. I do want to say thank you to everybody who's reached out to me over the last month or so. It's tough. It's tough. But there's been people who have reached out that I wouldn't expect to reach out to me, and there's been people who haven't reached out to me that I expected would. So it's just a really strange situation. Everybody handles this. I've never been in this. I hope nobody ever has to go through this. But everybody handles it differently. But to all the people that have reached out, I've got lots of cards. My wife has got we've got cards at the house. I got cards at IMCA. We got flowers here. They sent people who have donated to Navy's Memorial Fund. And all of that, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to my daughter and to Tyler. And someday I'll be better at talking about it, but right now I'm just not. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who's reached out to us. It's been a really, really tough month. Let's talk about something else. I had to say that. So
No.
Yeah, on your terms, at your pace, whenever you're ready.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's right. We're here for you.
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do. Very thankful for the friends and family I have in my life. So
You know what we're going to do now? We're going to go have some birthday cake.
let's wrap it up.
Let's go have some birthday, cake.
Is there cake out there? Are there cupcakes?
Yes.
Cupcakes.
Somebody forgot to order something else that,
Me?
yeah.
What was I supposed to order?
I thought you were popping out of the cake today.
No.
Oh.
No, I brought the chips and the
Buns.
buns.
All right. We're out of here. Oh, 9. Ooh, nothing's finer than a 9er next time.
God.
Wow. Gonna be back. Yes.
Wine them, dine them.
Haven't we already used this stuff?
Well, yeah, it's season 2. You can still use some of the.
So you're saying sloppy seconds? That's what you're saying.
Well, I mean,
We better end this.
So until next time,
next time.
remember, get out. We talked about it. There's a ton of IMCA racing in your neck of the woods. There's a ton of IMCA racing to be had in person. If you can't, make sure and join us on IMCA TV. And if you forgot something, you want to watch it again, buy that 30-day replay pass on IMCA TV. So from all us to all of you, have a great day. Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.